This was probably one of my favorite shows that I have ever played. Hello everyone. I'm sharing my experience from this past weekend where I had my first out-of-state booking. I flew across the country to LA and I played my first out-of-state show. And it was not just any ordinary show, it was this underground show under a freeway in downtown LA. I've got stories, insights, and tips from playing my first out-of-state show, so let's talk about it. First off, the location. They had this insane venue right under a freeway. They went all out. Full lighting, speaker setups, effects, and even things like food stands, a tattoo station, and they had a full bar. Some crazy atmosphere. I don't even know how to describe it. I hope these clips can show you what it was like because I honestly can't describe the vibe that was under that bridge. It felt like a legitimate outdoor club. There was just unbelievably strong production there. This curator is called Underware. They have a very strong following, a very cool community. They text a certain number and they have like a text message chain. And shortly before the event, they get texted a location and people go there and they party. It's really cool. My set was at 4 a.m. and for someone who was used to the New York City scene and the New York City time slots here, I wasn't really so sure what to expect from a late night crowd, but they did not disappoint. The people showed up with so much energy and they stayed all the way through my set, and from start to finish, it was just an unbelievable time. I flew Spirit, wasn't as bad as people say, but I flew in with just a backpack. I kept things light, and surprisingly, everything went super smooth. Despite what people say about Spirit, it really wasn't that bad. On the way there, I actually had the row to myself, but on the way back, I was pretty squished. I stayed with my friend Freddie, who goes by Party with Ray, who was also playing the event that night too. He was playing right before me, and it was a perfect time to catch up and prep for the night. Honestly, having someone that I knew when performing in a new city, it helped calm the nerves a bit for sure. Since I was traveling and had a late set, I needed to make sure that I was rested. I took a solid nap so I'd be ready to go. I came prepared with a few playlists, a few different crates on Rekordbox that I prepared. Because for the first time playing in a new scene, I had no idea what to expect or what they were going to like. So getting there early and watching Freddie play for about 10-15 minutes, I was able to see what the crowd liked and kind of have an idea in my head of what direction I wanted to take the set. In the case where they were not liking at all what I was playing, that's where the preparation comes in. I'm able to kind of pivot, see what they're liking, and go from there. But fortunately, they liked exactly what I was playing, and I was able to play a set that was true to myself, but also showing that they were having a good time. The venue itself was something else. They had a gigantic stack of speakers and subs, these like X-shaped lights, fountain fireworks, and they had space heaters everywhere to keep people warm. It was around 50 degrees in LA. You know, it's not freezing, but it's definitely not warm. So they had the space heaters around in the crowd, keeping people warm. It felt like a mini festival setup. It was pretty much a mini festival under a bridge. As I mentioned, I went on right after Party with Ray, and we actually released a song together a year ago. So in order to transition into my set, at the end of his set, the last song he played was our song. We went up there, or I went up there, we partied for a bit, and then we transitioned fully into my set. It was honestly the perfect moment to kick things off. The show was set up with two CDJ 3000s and a DJM 900 Nexus 2 mixer, which in my previous videos I've mentioned is an industry standard, and I love playing on that. Very standard and reliable setup for a show like this. Let me tell you, that crowd was alive. They were dancing their asses off from the start until the end of my set. I've said this before and I'll say it now. Seeing people dance and react positively to tracks that I've made myself is just, it's never gonna get old. It's the coolest feeling ever. Especially to my unreleased stuff. It's a song that they've literally never heard before, and the fact that they're dancing to it, that's really exciting. Energy was just unreal overall, and it made the whole trip worth it. I wanted people to leave that set saying, oh, that guy from New York who I've never heard of before, he had a very strong set. My main goal when I got up there was making sure that I was playing a solid set, and my song selection was more important than any DJ tricks, because people are gonna leave a set after seeing a new artist. 99% of the time, they're gonna remember the good song selection that you had over any crazy DJ tricks like James Hype. The crowd was feeling every moment of my set, and I even had a few people reaching out afterward. As soon as I finished, they came up to me, and a few people were reaching out on social media afterwards, which was the coolest thing ever. To be able to go from one coast, fly across the country to another coast, play an entirely different scene, and to have new fans immediately after the set come up to me or message me something nice, like, I can't even put into words how good that felt. It kind of, was a culmination of everything that I was working towards the past few years, and now my first out-of-state show. It could have went one way or the other, but it went as good as possible, and I'm really just so thankful for that. After the set, I was buzzing. I was tossing and turning. I couldn't go to sleep. It was like 7 a.m. there, which at that point was 10 a.m. in New York, which I was used to. So I was like, I guess I just got to start my day. The sun's up. I can't go to sleep. Whatever. So I ordered breakfast. I ordered a breakfast burrito, and it was the biggest breakfast burrito I've ever seen. I ordered it. It got there in like 20 minutes. I destroyed it in like 2 minutes, and then I immediately fell asleep for like 6 hours. So I woke up. It was Sunday. Friday night I watched some football, and then I worked on a mix for Bijou's radio show, D&D Radio, which actually just premiered this past Monday on Sirius XM on channel 53, which is Diplo's Revolution. That's such a big milestone for me, but I was so caught up with what was happening in LA, and I was so excited that I only just processed this like 2 days ago. Like that was really awesome. So the fact that not only was my experience in LA awesome and the set went great, I had a blast, and then to cap it all off, I had a mix on Diplo's Revolution. That's like a bucket list item for me when I first started out, and yeah, here we are. It just made the weekend like one of the best weekends I've had in a while. So shout out to Bijou as always for having me on that. So in the afternoon, Freddie and I, we hit up some local LA spots. We got some banging Mexican food. LA has such a vibe. I didn't really get to see everything this time around because I was only there for like 2 days. So when I come back, I definitely want to do it right. I want to be here for a week or two and really just dive into the music scene and see what they're about. Hopefully play a few shows too. This weekend to me was a reminder of the importance of preparation. In the case where you don't prepare properly, it's going to come back to bite you. So fortunately, the crowd reacted well to my set, but I don't even know what I would do if I flew all the way across the country, tanked a set, stayed there for a day, and had to fly all the way back. So, I'm just thankful that I was able to prepare properly and everything went very well. I'm just very happy it didn't go that way. This experience taught me a lot about traveling for shows, what to focus on to make the most out of these gigs that are out of state. I learned how easy it is to not take care of yourself on the road, but fortunately a lot of my peers set a good example for how to take care of yourself, making sure you're eating right, getting out for exercise instead of just sleeping all day. So it's definitely a slippery slope. I can definitely see that. I have a very small sample size. I played one out-of-state show, but I can definitely see how easy it is to not take care of yourself on the road. So that's definitely a big lesson that I've learned. Honestly, this weekend made me so fired up to be able to play in other cities across the country and even beyond. There's nothing like, having a new crowd and having new fans, and I'm just, I'm all ready for it. So that was my weekend in LA, playing an underground show with Underware. Shout out to Underware for having me out. You guys are just amazing, and I really can't wait to be back. This was such a big milestone for me, and I am stoked to keep sharing this journey with you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more behind the scenes content. I've got so much stuff coming out for you guys, and it's really just been a blast. I'll see you next week.